ever talk with a teacher or a nurse and they say the following words? Believe me, I should know. I'm a nurse. You've heard that before, haven't you? Or with a teacher, believe me, I should know. I deal with kids all day long. I'm a teacher. You hear that quite a bit, at least for me, in those two professions. I hear them always talking about how hard their jobs are, how stressful it is. And my point of this is not to make fun of these people, because they are very, very hard workers. I could not imagine teaching kids for over 6 hours all day long every day, or let alone working a 12-hour shift at a hospital where life and death is in your hands. A nurse, that's hard work. But on the other hand, they are very proud occupations, almost to the point of it's their identity, and that is what they bring up in virtually every conversation that you talk with them. Yes, I know you're a nurse. Yes, that's nice. I know how to put on a Band-Aid. You do not need to affirm. Now I'm a nurse, and slow down. And I should know. Now, as I said, I'm not. The point of this is not to rag on nurses and teachers and stuff. It's mainly be careful with your own occupation. If you kind of feel that ego building up inside of you, and you may know some occupations which are also pretty stressful. Let's say you're working at Costco. It can be pretty darn stressful there. But you don't have a lot of people saying, believe me, I should know. I stock during the night at Costco. Now slow down. There's usually a slow down thrown in there, which kind of makes it even more annoying. But just be careful with your own occupation. I'm a network administrator. I should know. What does that mean? There's one nurse who I know who does not do this. And this is my lovely wife, Liz. She is such a good nurse because she's really, really smart. If we were not married, I guarantee you she would already be a doctor by this point. I'm 28 years old. She's so intelligent. And that's not to say that I am hampering her future or Lucy is, making her throw away her dreams. No, not at all. It's just that Liz's dreams at this point align with living with me, her husband, and living with her daughter. That's just how God works sometimes. But there's no doubt in my mind that Liz could be a brain surgeon if she really, really wanted to. She's that smart. Brilliant. But at the same time, she's humble enough not to always be asserting her occupation and using that as an excuse to correct people or to always bringing it up in a conversation. She's very proud of being a nurse, but not proud in the sort of way where it just engulfs and puffs up your ego. That's just embarrassing. But she's so cool. And she's told me a lot of stories, not about specific patients, like, hey, Beau, your friend was in the hospital today. She's very good with being, what's the word, conspicuous, respectful of people's privacy. HIPAA! But she's really good at that. But that's not to say that sometimes she says, a patient, just generic, came in today and this happened. A patient came in today and they started crashing, coding, I think the term is. And so I hopped up on top of them and I did CPR. Hey, wow, did you? That's rather incredible. You were influential in saving this person's life. Oh yeah, I mean that's what you're supposed to do. That's when the training kicks in. It almost sounds like a soldier, like, yeah, the training kicks in, and I just got up on top of him and doing chest compressions. Not to say that she was completely at peace and enjoying this person going, coding. No, not at all. But yeah, high stress situation, things like that. Interestingly enough, she has told me the most rewarding patience that she has. By the way, I always get patience and patience mixed up, as in like the attribute of having patience and the people there. I had 5 patients. Really? Did you run out of patience? Funny. I always get those mixed up when she's talking to me. Takes me a while. Oh, you're talking about your patience, not your patience. Where was I? Oh, her favorite patient. There's a school called Rainier School, and it's across the river in Buckley, and they have some mentally challenged people there who are some of them are wards of the state. That means that they don't have any relatives to take care of them. Some of them are really old. We're talking like in their 70s or 80s, and they're just mentally not there. And some of them are very kind of disfigured. They can't move their arms very well. Have you ever seen a mentally challenged person being that old before? No. Typically you see like, I don't know, the really young ones out in society. But the ones who are closed up behind closed doors, wow, it takes a big heart to deal with those people. I couldn't do it. I really couldn't. I would just like break down in tears and be like, oh, these poor people. But there are others, like Liz, who enjoy dealing with them because, in her own words, she says it's almost like dealing with a baby. Only, they're only babies up here, but not physically, they're babies. So they're, of course, a bit harder to take care of. But just the sweetest thing ever when Liz comes home and tells me that she took care of a guy who didn't have any family left because he was just so old, or they disowned him or something awful, and he was dying. This guy in his 80s. And so she said she went in there and sat with him because he didn't have any family. And in Liz's words, she said, "No one should have to die alone." Wow. I love my wife very much, and she is an incredible woman of God who has a big heart. Is not overly proud about her job, but very good at it. And so maybe adopt a little bit of these people at Rainier School. Adopt this simple childlike mindset that you don't have to be all dramatic and all quick-witted and everything to make someone like you. The ones who truly care about you, like Liz, don't really care about the drama in your life. Even if you were just a simple child, they would still love you because they're driven by something a lot deeper, and that's their faith in God. That's knowing that there's heaven beyond this life, that this life that we're living right now, there's a lot of suffering here. Do you ever get the flu and you're just like, oh, this sucks, I hate barfing? I mean, that's just a temporary example, but these people live with their illnesses all their lives and they can't get away from it. But beyond this temporal, perishable world that we're living in, there's an awesome place called heaven. And it's not some boring place where we're just going to be strumming a harp and sitting on a cloud. That is a lie from the devil. That is not what the Bible says heaven is like. Heaven is an exciting, awesome place. And these people, some of these people, know this. These people at the Rainier State School. I heard a story once. There are smudges on the windows of some of these schools. I don't know if this is the Rainier State School in particular, but there's smudges on them. And it's from these people pressing their faces up against the glass. And yeah, that's kind of gross, getting slobber all over everything. but this one fellow, I remember he asked one of the patients there, he said, "So what are you doing? Why are you looking out the window with your face pressed up against it?" And the person said, "I'm waiting for Jesus. I'm looking for him. He's gonna come back soon." Isn't that so awesome? So adopt some of that. And oh, it's just so cool. Such the lessons that you can learn from some of these people, and how profound these lessons are, even though some of them have the working knowledge of a 6-year-old. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.